I have talked to you before about how awakening is, it's not the end of the journey. It's actually the beginning. And I also talked to you about how a lot of people are experiencing awakenings, and from there, it's important to know that there's a huge job on parenting yourself, parenting the egoic thinking, the egoic mind. And I also talked to you about how that is possible when you are solidly rooted into God and into the ocean of awareness and love, making this ocean your primary residence. It's also like having a parent, someone who have taught you, someone you can rely on when you have to teach your own ego. There's always this infinite awareness, this infinite knowledge that you can rely on when you're dealing with your own personality. You have this parent that you can always rely on. And as we talked about previously also, is it's like experience. It's an experience of being permeated by this divine force that will rise right through you, and that you will realize that there's nothing but this infinite love. God is all there is. And at some point, sooner or later, you'll ask yourself, but who am I then? If God is all there is, who am I? And that brings you to the realization that I am God. And that's amazing. It's liberating, and it gives you a huge amount of freedom. And as the awareness has risen inside you, at some point you'll have to, you can say that the process turns around, and an embodiment will happen. You'll be embodied by God. You can also look at it this way. In the beginning you would say, who am I? And God will answer, I'll show you who you are. Look, you are God. And you realize, I'm God. That's amazing. But then at some point God will say to you, now I'll show you who I am. I showed you who you are. Now it's my turn to show you who you are. Who I am, I'm sorry. And you'll be embodied by this God force, this love. And at some point you'll awaken to the realization that I am human. And that's when you realize that God walks the earth as humans, that God walks the earth as you. And for me, that's ultimate freedom. It's the ultimate liberation. It's knowing, and it's meeting everybody as they are. It's meeting the other human being, knowing that this human being is God walking the earth. And there is no difference between the outside and the inside. The difference between the innermost place in God, the center of God, is not different from the external world. There is no difference, it's the same. And you can be at all places in at the same time. You're in this innermost place at the same time as you are out acting in the world. And that's when you become a person who can live freely, who can create with huge success, who can participate, who realize that spirituality is not about hiding at home or sitting in meditation. Spirituality is participating, making changes, contributing to this new earth that is on its way. And it's realizing that the whole world is your playground and you are free to create. So especially around this full moon, it's a good time to talk about this, because it's also a time when it's possible to get lost in everyday life, and it may seem like there's a long way to go, but it's always there. In every breath you take, it's always there. If you stop and you listen and you become present and you awaken in that moment. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, and also share with you that if you are feeling like everything is a bit overwhelming at the time, it's quite understandable, and it's also a time where we seem to have a lot of conflicts with our friends and family, and it is the guru teaching you to breathe and to become present and to be the love that you so desperately long to be. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again sometime, I hope. Have a great day. Bye.